Same man, same jacket, same restaurant, 2 different evenings. The first night, the valet sprints around the hood to open his door. The second night, the same valet points him towards self-parking behind the dumpsters. Nothing about the man changed, only the metal he arrived in. Strangers had rendered 2 complete verdicts. Your car is the only financial document you publish every single day. Salaries hide in envelopes, portfolios sleep behind passwords, but the car rolls your presumed net worth down every street at 30 miles an hour, and strangers speed read it in about 3 seconds. They are wrong constantly. They vote anyway. So run the experiment with me. 1 man, 1 week, 5 cars. An $800 beater, a $9,000 sedan, a financed $40,000 SUV, a $90,000 German badge, and a $500,000 exotic. Same routes, same clothes, same manners. A notebook rides shotgun, and the strangers write the findings themselves. Monday belongs to the beater. $800 of faded paint, 1 mismatched fender, an engine that clears its throat before agreeing to work. It is honest transportation, fully paid for, and the moment it rolls onto the road, the world composes its first opinion. The opinion is not gentle. In the beater, right-of-way becomes theoretical, merges close like elevator doors. At the 4-way stop, eye contact slides past you to the next hood. Horns arrive a half-second faster, as if your time were a public resource. The road has a pecking order, and you are now driving its floor. The beater's mirror fills constantly. Tailgaters ride you regardless of your speed, as if the dents themselves were an invitation. On the highway, a pickup sits close enough to read your odometer for 3 miles. Cheap metal, strangers assume, means negotiable space. You drive the whole day slightly leaned on. At the shopping center, a security cart drifts by the beater twice, slow both times. At the hotel, the attendant waves you toward the far lot before you finish rolling the window down. No one is cruel, exactly. You are simply pre-sorted, the way mail gets sorted, by the envelope alone. Wednesday's errand is the experiment's cruelest data point. You walk a luxury dealership floor for 11 minutes, in the same jacket as always, having parked the beater outside the glass. No greeting arrives. 2 salesmen study their coffee. The beater, visible through the window, has already answered every question they might have asked you. But the beater unlocks one society the other cars never will. At the gas station, a stranger in work boots warns you about a coming cold snap and your tires. A man with jumper cables in his trunk nods like a brother. The bottom of the ladder keeps a warmth the top has entirely forgotten. By the beater's second day, you catch the costume seeping inward. Giving a colleague a ride, you hear yourself say it. "Excuse the car." Nobody asked. The apology arrived on its own, pre-installed by a week of far lots and fast horns. Strangers' verdicts, repeated often enough, start auditioning as your own voice. Here is what strangers never consider. The beater might mean broke. It might also mean paid off, or a mortgage being murdered ahead of schedule, or a business quietly funded by what the fender surrendered. The car is a costume the audience reads as biography, and the audience never checks its sources. Tuesday, the $9,000 sedan. Gray, clean, forgettable as a Tuesday itself. This is the car most of America actually drives, and it comes with a superpower nobody advertises: total invisibility. No horns, no glances, no verdicts. The world simply files you under fine and moves its attention elsewhere. In the sedan, you are furniture in traffic. Doors neither held nor slammed. Valets neither sprint nor point. A whole day passes without a single stranger forming an opinion strong enough to act on. After the beater's constant static, the silence feels like a spa. Neutral, it turns out, is a luxury. The sedan's quiet day performs an accidental audit. Only when the verdicts stop do you hear how loud they were. No horns to absorb, no far lots to accept, no apologies queuing in your throat. You arrive home with surplus energy and nothing to recover from. Judgment, it turns out, was an ambient noise with a cost. Now, the twist the data has whispered for decades. Boring sedans and sensible trims carry a wildly outsized share of the quietly rich. The pattern shows up in every study of self-made wealth. The reason is simple arithmetic. People who hate wasting money on strangers' opinions tend to end up with money. Thursday, the new SUV. $40,000, 7 years of payments, that intoxicating new plastic smell. Rolling out of the lot, the world upgrades you in real time. And the first taste of automatic approval, be honest, is delicious. You sit higher, lights seem greener, even your posture gets a promotion. Errands transform. The mattress salesman crosses the whole floor for you now, hand extended early. The bank teller's voice warms by several degrees. At the school pickup line, 2 parents compliment the color and one asks about towing capacity. You have said nothing about yourself. The SUV has been introducing you all day. Careful with Thursday's sweetness, though. Approval has a ratchet built in. By evening, the SUV's welcome already feels normal, and normal stops registering. The brochure for the next trim up finds its way into your hand at a red light of the mind. Stranger's warmth is a dosage. The body adapts, then asks for more. Then Friday morning delivers the joke. Every nod, every warmed voice, every pickup line compliment was aimed at a machine the bank still owns. Strangers were saluting the payment, not the ownership. Approval, it turns out, extends credit as carelessly as any lender, and it never once asks to see the title. Saturday, the $90,000 German badge. The door closes like a bank vault. And the world does not just warm now. It organizes. Valets sprint. Sir appears in sentences. A gate that idled open slowly for the sedan swings wide before you finish braking. The badge precedes you like a title of nobility. Dinner in the badge comes with cartography. The host walks you past the bar seating you got on Monday, past Tuesday's corner two-top, to a window table facing the street, where the restaurant displays its most decorative customers. You order the same pasta as Monday. It arrives looking mysteriously more arranged. Strangest of all, the badge upgrades your mind in strangers' eyes. At a Sunday barbecue, acquaintances ask the badge's opinion on markets and neighborhoods. You offer the same views you held on Monday in the beater, word for word. This time, heads nod slowly. The opinions never changed vehicles, the audience did. But the badge collects taxes the brochure omits. A contractor's quote doubles at the curb. A parking lot stranger keys a long, thin line into the door for reasons that are entirely his own. Friends of friends assume dinner is on you. Deference, you learn, arrives bundled with appetite, and both read the same emblem. Sunday, the exotic. $500,000 of carbon fiber, a door that opens upward like a wing, an engine note that sets off 2 car alarms at idle. This is no longer transportation. It is an event, and you have just volunteered to be its staff. The week's final lesson begins immediately. At the first gas station, a crowd forms before the pump finishes. Phones rise like periscopes. Teenagers film walk-arounds. A man asks you to rev it for his son. You are photographed 40 times in 9 minutes, and here's the detail that reroutes your whole understanding. Nobody photographs your face. That is the exotic's secret. The car is the celebrity. You are its chauffeur. The crowd's love pours toward the metal and splashes on you only by proximity. Trade seats with anyone in that crowd, and the love follows the wing doors, not the man. $500,000 buys reflected light, brilliant and borrowed. The exotic also draws a weather the badge never did, revving challenges at stoplights, a middle finger from a passing truck, unprovoked. Patrol cars that pace you for a mile, running the plate on principle. Above a certain altitude, admiration and resentment become the same crowd, and the crowd never disperses. By Sunday evening, you cannot park anywhere. Not the street, not the lot, certainly not the far fence line. Dinner is chosen by valet quality. Errands are canceled by parking anxiety. The car has quietly become your employer, and the week's finest possession is revealed to be the neediest dependent you have ever had. The exotic even edits the sky. Rain cancels it, the owner's manual practically pleading. Gravel roads are forbidden territory. A friend's lake house becomes unreachable terrain. You check forecasts for a machine, decline invitations on its behalf, and slowly realize the $500,000 freedom purchase has a weather clause. Monday night, You graph the week in the notebook. Stranger treatment climbs steadily from beater to badge, then bends sideways at the exotic into something that is not respect at all, but spectacle. The curve's sweet spot surprises you. It sits near the badge for warmth and near the sedan for peace. Now read the week's control group. Your reflexes at the wheel, identical. Your jokes, your patience and cues, your tip percentages, identical. Every variable that made you useful, kind, or trustworthy rode along unchanged through all 5 cars. The only thing strangers ever responded to was the wrapping paper. So retire the idea that strangers judge you. Strangers triage you. 1,000 faces pass them weekly, and the car is the fastest sorting bin available. 3 seconds, 1 label, next. It was never personal, because you were never a person to them yet. You were an envelope with an estimated value. One finding stings more than the rest. Reviewing the notebook, you realize you ran the same sorting software all week. You softened toward the badge that let you merge. You wrote off a driver by his rust before his wave registered. The machine is not out there judging you. You are a working part of it. Remember also what the paperwork proved. 4 of the 5 cars were borrowed or rented. Every sprinting valet, every warmed teller, every leaning barbecue circle responded identically to metal with a return date. Anyone with a credit card can rent their verdict for a weekend. That is how little the verdict ever verified. Price the product honestly. A stranger's upgraded opinion of you lasts about 8 seconds. The time between your bumper entering and leaving their attention. Financing the badge to harvest those seconds costs many hundreds monthly. Divide it out and you are buying respect by the second, from people you will never meet twice. And notice who pays this subscription hardest. The pattern is uncomfortable and well documented. Status spending peaks exactly where budgets are thinnest, because the hunger to be seen as okay is sharpest where okay feels far away. The stranger tax is regressive. It bills the anxious and it comps the secure. It also explains a pattern valets everywhere confirm. Established wealth trends toward boring cars. Once nobody's estimate can touch you, the 8-second subscription has nothing left to sell. The quiet families canceled it generations ago. They spend the difference where strangers cannot see, which is precisely the point. A valet with 15 years on the podium gives the experiment its best footnote. The flashiest keys, he says, often come with the tensest faces and the smallest tips. The rusted keys tip better and wait calmer. He has sorted 10,000 strangers by their cars, and he stopped believing the sort years ago. Business adds its own bend to the curve. A consultant arriving in the exotic loses bids to one arriving in the sedan, because clients quietly convert your car into your invoice. Too little metal reads as failure. Too much reads as markup. Professionals learn to park ambition 1 notch below the clients. So let the conclusion be honest instead of pious. The treatment is real. Doors do open. Voices do warm. Anyone who says image buys nothing has never run this week. The only question that matters is the price, because everything the car rents you from strangers evaporates at the next red light. Meanwhile, the people who actually shape your life ride inside the car, not outside it. The kid asleep in the back seat has no idea what the badge costs. The friend riding shotgun remembers the conversation, never the trim level. Every dollar aimed at the sidewalk is a dollar the passengers never feel. There is even an advantage hiding at the ladder's bottom. Underestimation is a discount. Nobody negotiates hard against the man in the old sedan. Nobody recruits him into expensive appearances. He moves through the marketplace unpriced, holding his real numbers face down. And face-down cards win a surprising number of hands. Think, too, about the smallest audience on the sidewalk. Children learn status math from driveways before any classroom touches money. A kid who watches adults kneel to badges will spend accordingly at 25. The most expensive thing a flashy car can finance is the next generation's definition of enough. The week ends at the exotic's dealership. Key surrendered, deposit released. Walking back to your own car, the one that has carried you for years, your hands find the wheel like an old handshake. No crowd gathers. No engine growls. The drive home is completely unremarkable, and it feels like breathing again. Somewhere past the third traffic light, you notice you have stopped checking who is watching, because nobody is. And that is the whole prize. Whatever tier you drive tomorrow, the experiment asks only this: drive it on purpose. The beater as a strategy is power. The badge as a genuine joy, budgeted and owned, is power. The same cars, driven to manage strangers 8 seconds, are a costume with a payment book. Purpose is the entire difference, and purpose is the one feature no dealership has ever managed to sell. So tomorrow, at some red light, a stranger will glance over and file you in 3 seconds flat. Here is the question for the comments. What does that stranger get completely wrong about you, and what is their mistake quietly worth? The drivers with the best answers rarely have the loudest cars.